Good, happy Tuesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, voters hit polls for primary day in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to this video I did today. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Voters hit polls for primary day in New Hampshire. Polls are open across New Hampshire Tuesday for primary day. Riley King, and welcome to this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Voters hit polls for primary day in New Hampshire. Polls are open across New Hampshire Tuesday for primary day. Okay, we're having a little technical difficulties with the video. Sorry about that, everyone. Representing 1st and 2nd Congressional Districts. Secretary of State Bill Gardner expects a turnout of nearly 23%, which is a considered high for a state primary. Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties we're having with our video.
Begin with the race for the White House. Exactly 8 weeks, that's 56 days for the White House.
Sorry about that, everyone. We're having a little technical difficulties. We do not want that video.
For the White House.
Okay, there we go. Important voter resources, how to register polling places, voter ID. Here are some important information about voting in New Hampshire. State primary election day, September 13th. Voters may register at polls. General election day, November 8th. Voters may register at polls. Not sure where to vote? Go to the Secretary of State's website to search by name or address. Are you registered? Check your party registration. Problems at the poll. Contact the moderator at the polling location if your problem is not addressed. The New Hampshire Attorney General has set up a voter hotline to report problems or ask questions. Voters may call 1-866-868-3703 or at 1-866-VOTER03 on Election Day. Information on voter ID law. At the polls, you will be asked for an approved photo ID, driver's license issued by any state or federal government, non-driver ID card issued by the New Hampshire DMV or Motor Vehicle Agency or of another state, photo ID card for voting identification only issued by the New Hampshire DMV, United States Armed Service Identification Card, United States Passport or Pass Card, New Hampshire Student ID Card, a photo ID not mentioned above but determined to be illegitimate by the moderator, supervisor of the checklist, or clerk of a town, ward, or city. If any person authorized to challenge a voter does So under this prevention, the voter shall be required to fill out a challenge voter affidavit before obtaining a ballot. Verification of the voter's identity by a moderator or supervisor of the checklist or clerk of a town, ward, or city, not a ballot clerk. If any person authorized to challenge a voter does so under this provision, the voter shall be required to fill out a challenge voter affidavit before obtaining a ballot. Student ID cards must be issued by college, university, or career school approved or licensed to operate in New Hampshire. A public high school in New Hampshire, a non-public high school in New Hampshire, associated by a private school accrediting agency that is recognized by the New Hampshire Department of Education. Dartmouth College, a college or university operated by a university system of New Hampshire or community college system of New Hampshire. Fighter jet accidentally drops flares over Monadnock region. A fighter jet with Massachusetts Air National Guard inadvertently dropped flares Tuesday during a training exercise over southeastern New Hampshire. One of the jets flying with the 104th Fighter Wing out of Westfield, Massachusetts, accidentally released countermeasure flares about 10 a.m. while conducting target intercept training over the Monadnock region, officials said. The 104th Fighter Wing said in a statement that the flares were released because of pilot error. Massachusetts National Guard officials said the flares exploded before hitting the ground and were of no danger to the public. While it's not unsure of the 104th Fighter jets to conduct training over New Hampshire, the union typically notify the public ahead of scheduled training exercise. The National Guard said that in this case, no announcement was made in order to test the combat radiance of the unit. State Senator candidate Jeannie Distian was campaigning at polls when she heard the jets. She said she wasn't concerned because she's seen worse. Officials said the jets were emergent in target intercept training. Patriots unveil first new uniform since 2003. The New England Patriots will be hitting the field sporting a new uniform when they host the Houston Texans on Thursday night later this month. The NFL unveiled the team's new all-blue uniform Tuesday morning as part of the 2016 Rush collection. And here's a look at their uniform. Very cool, as you can see. What voters think about Hillary Clinton and candidates' health. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
White House exactly 8 weeks, that's 56 days, until Election Day. And the focus right now, Hillary Clinton and her health. She spoke out in an interview with CNN overnight, and here's what she had to say.
Well, I just didn't think it was going to be that big a deal. I felt dizzy, and I did lose my balance for a minute. Once I got in, once I could sit down, once I could cool off, once I had some water, I immediately started feeling better. So I felt fine, but I'm now taking my doctor's advice, which was given to me on Friday that I ignored, to just take some time to get over pneumonia completely. I was supposed to rest 5 days. That's what they told me on Friday, and I didn't follow that very wise advice. So I just want to get this over and done with and get back on the trail as soon as possible. We're going to be releasing more information, and I think it's fair to say we've already met the standard of disclosure of past presidential candidates like Mitt Romney and President Obama. We'll add more information, but I've already released information about my health in this campaign, as well as nearly 40 years of tax returns.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Stocks close 1% lower as Fed's fears loom. Oil slides. U.S. stocks closed sharply lower Tuesday, led by energy as investors designated a spike involuntarily in falling oil prices, while looking ahead to next week's Federal Reserve's meeting. House Democrats seek investigation of Trump Foundation. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
That's the value of performance. Northrop Grumman.
The cases may be old, but they point to a pattern. Donald Trump accused of skirting campaign donation laws, skirting lobbying laws, skirting any laws that would get in the way of a contribution in the right hands.
I've given to Hillary. I've given to everybody because that was my job. I got to give to them because when I want something, I get it. When I call, they kiss my ass. Okay, it's true.
In 2000, Trump was fined for failing to register a fake institute as a lobbying group and running what some believe are racist ads, lobbying against a Native American casino in upstate New York. The radio ads, run by the Institute for Law and Society, told radio listeners the St. Regis Mohawk tribe was involved in drug smuggling, money laundering, trafficking illegal immigrants. The ads ended saying, "Are these the kind of new neighbors we want?" It turns out that the Institute had been organized by Roger Stone, Donald Trump's longtime public relations pal, and funded by Trump. Both men settled the case against them without admitting guilt, but both apologized in print and in radio ads to the Mohawk Indians and paid combined fines of $250,000, the largest ever at that time, to the New York State Lobbying Commission. Trump also got in trouble with the Federal Election Commission in 1988 after he exceeded the $25,000 donation limit. He donated in excess $47,000 before, according to Trump's attorney at the time, Trump learned he had broken the law. Trump says he tried to get the money back, but he didn't get all of it and wound up paying a $15,000 fine to settle the matter. Trump's attorney stressing the fact that Mr. Trump acted voluntarily and expeditiously to correct an unintentional and unwitting violation. Trump's case was so bad it made the Federal Election Commission's selected list of cases. He's right there on page 7. But before you say gotcha, Trump has lots of company much higher on the FEC's list, including the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, the Republican National Committee, Obama for America, and very near the top, the Democratic National Committee. Lawrence Noble at the Campaign Legal Center says Trump may not be the biggest campaign finance violator, but he certainly should know enough to follow the law.
This campaign, he has made these type of things a serious issue. He has talked about political contributions and how they buy influence and how when he gave them, he expected people to respond. So you would think that he would have some sensitivity to the laws involving giving political contributions.
Trump's defense over the years, including his botched donation to Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, has been they were all mistakes, errors in accounting, or not realizing he was violating the rule.
Okay.